Outside the Box Reviews, we are taking a look at the Blizzard StarCraft Zerg Hydralisk figure. And if the Protoss figure was the Predator ripoff, the Zerg, of course, is the alien clone. It's definitely one of the most unique races in StarCraft. Now, the choice of doing a Hydralisk seems like an obvious one. It's probably the most iconic looking Zerg in the entire game. However, it does break up the flow that the other two figures in Wave 1 creates. The Protoss Zealot and the Terran Marine are both your basic infantry units in the game, so in a weird way, this really should have been a Zergling. But I think I'd much prefer this Hydralisk. I actually really love the sculpt they gave the Hydralisk. I love the very bony look of its head. Just looks like it's a big exoskeleton. We have the kind of split looking jaw there, even though it's not actually split on this figure. The mouth has no detailing on the inside of it, but it is cool that it will open. It's got just kind of plain black eyes there. The crest here on the head is really nice. It's got some great paint detail with the little spots all over it. Also some great sculpting in it. You can see mine has a couple holes in there. I had somebody take it from me at one point, drill holes in it, and stick it on top of a robot. I kind of really didn't want them to do that, but whatever. Then we have some really nice orange kind of highlighting here on the bone parts of the crest. And if we flip around to the back, you can see there are kind of these big spiky pieces coming off the back that are a little more pliable, so they're not going to break off. Even the underside has some decent sculpting to it, which is really, really cool. Now you can see here, not really part of the sculpt, but the way this head attaches, you can see mine's a little loose because these little nubs that hold it on the ball joint have kind of worn down over time. So if you do see the head flopping around on this, that's actually my own fault and not the fault of the figure. Coming down the rest of kind of the upper body here, we have a lot of the same detail we saw on the crest, more kind of cracks through it, some great paint detail, the orange shading, coming up to this little spike ridge at the top. Then if we look underneath, there's this great muscle tissue look. Really, really well done. Not a whole ton of paint shading in here, but there is some kind of dark wash in there that makes it look really gross and anatomical. That also carries on inside the arms there, you can see a little bit as well, which is really nice. The outside of the arms continue that armored look. Then we have our claw here at the end, which is really ragged looking and just nasty. Back here we have some spikes coming up. Kind of this rib section here around the middle, very xenomorph reminiscent. And the lower body of the more snake-like piece. So we have this kind of weird underbelly pattern here that pretty much goes away once we get into the flat part that goes on the ground. And then we continue that same texture from the upper body onto the lower body with the spots and just kind of grooves in there, making it look like a very snake-like tail. For our articulation, the Hydralisk has a hinge at the jaw, so it opens pretty far and closes pretty far. We have a ball joint at the head, so it can look really far down, not so far up because it is limited by the crest there, and it will kind of go side to side, but you also have to turn it a bit downward and a bit sideways to go to those sides, but it still has some decent articulation for a figure like this. We have ball joints at the shoulder, so they'll go a little bit out, limited both by the armor and the joint itself. They'll go very far forward and back easily. You have a decent joint here at the elbow, it goes almost a full 90 degrees. We have a swivel joint here at the chest. You can hear very, very squeaky. And this lower body has a bendy wire in it, so you can actually bend it around and have it however you need your Hydralisk to go. And then for a size comparison, here we have our Hydralisk next to the Xenomorph Warrior from Aliens by NECA. And, well, you can see here the Hydralisk is a little short. But to fit him in with the line and make him fit in the packaging, I guess it's the sacrifice that had to be made. But he's definitely not the giant behemoth that he really needs to be to fit in with the other figures. And the Hydralisk really doesn't have a lot of the same flaws that the Protoss figure had. There's definitely some things that are wrong with it, but it's overall just a more enjoyable figure. The sculpting and paint detail on it are top-notch. They were on the Protoss as well. The articulation, while still being limited, is a lot better than the Protoss. And despite the fact that my neck is a little loose, this figure is held up very well over the years. And as I said in my previous review, I haven't really taken good care of these figures. So the Zerg Hydralisk gets a recommend from me. I think it is a very, very cool figure, just a little on the short side. Make sure you check me out on Instagram, username Outside the Box Reviews. Also follow me on Facebook, link below. And until next time, this is another Outside the Box Reviews. Bye!